Welcome to the Institute for Advanced Astonishment, my friend, Douglas Hofstadter.
Thank you. I like the name for the institute. Institute for
Thank you.
Advanced Astonishment. That's very good.
It's
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about I was thinking if you're what do you call Egbert B. Gebstetter to you?
Oh,
Your
an alter ego.
yeah. I was thinking if he had a podcast, it would be like the instead of the Institute for Advanced Astonishment, maybe the shack for bored bewilderment or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's pretty good. I like that. Yeah, yeah,
I love how you always, even in the new book, the Ambigrammia book, you put a reference to his new book. It's
yeah.
always there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's right.
Do you have one for Wild Grace Chase?
I do. Yeah, I
Is
do.
it mild?
No, that's cute. No, that's pretty. That's pretty good. I like.
I was
No,
thinking
my
mild.
wanton grunge chase.
That's, that's so perfect.
My wanton grunge chase. Yeah.
I was thinking my mild graze case, like mildly grazing constantly, like
Uh,
so slow compared to you chasing beauty.
uh,
So I just want to say thank you, Doug, for coming and our friendship and I mean, your inspiration has changed my life from my teenage years on. I would never be who I am without you. Like you're
that's
such a big role.
that's a remarkable fact, but I think that there are quite a few people who played roles like that in your life. I mean, you mentioned Randy, and of course Randy was one.
Yes.
Probably Martin Gardner, another.
Yes.
Mhm.
Raymond Smulyan.
Oh, Ray
All
Smulyan.
our friends. Yeah. And Randy is like the bridge between you and I think, uh, you
Yeah.
know, that not as much Martin Gardner, but Randy. I know Martin Gardner was like your Randy in a way, a little
Well,
bit.
yeah, that could be. Hmm.
Yeah. I remember reading how you said the whole world seemed to orbit around Martin.
Oh, a certain world. Yeah, not the whole world, but a certain very amazing set of people. That's true. Yeah.
And very early on, I mean, I don't know if you know the story, but when I had stayed with Randy as his apprentice, and one day he was gone, and I snuck into the library. He had this beautiful library, and years later I became a librarian. It was so perfect. But in the library, I found, and every book was signed to him, from
Oh,
all
yeah.
the philosophers and scientists. Thank you, Randy, for shining the light of logic on the world, and all these beautiful tributes to Randy. And then I found this Martin Gardner book, and it was the annotated Alice. And as a magician, I said, wow, this is the real magic, what's happening here. And suddenly Randy appeared behind me. He was over my shoulder and he said, everything Martin touches turns to gold. So, so when I came home from Randy, I had my first girlfriend, like I missed my girlfriend. And so I didn't tell any of my friends, just my best friend, RJ, that you know. And I told my girlfriend that I'm home so I can be in retreat and quiet and take process everything. And I said, "Can you go get this book to my mother?" I gave her a little note in the library. I'm not going to go out. Can you get this book? And I said, it's something about Martin Gardner, Alice in Wonderland, turns to gold. And she came back with the librarian said, this is the book you want. Gödel, Escher, Bach, it was this. She
Oh,
came back with this. And I said,
oh,
oh my God. I looked at it and it was so overwhelming and so powerful and so much. And I said, one day I'll understand it, but that it wasn't that. And I took about a year off and then I got it again, and then I
Oh.
became your biggest fan.
That's interesting. No, I didn't realize that that's how you came across GEB.
Yeah, because you have that Alice and you have Martin Gardner as the blur,
Oh gosh,
and
yes.
maybe the gold and the
Yeah,
girdle and
Golden
the
Braid.
golden braid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So now you have a brand new book,
Yeah,
Ambigrammia.
yeah.
Ambigrammia?
Ambigrammia.
I had the original in Italian, whatever that was, which was
Yeah,
something
the
like it.
Ambigrammi. Ambigrammi. Yeah, that's this book here.
Yes,
Yeah. That was in
beautiful.
1987. That was a long time ago, and it was, of course, a very different book, much very different.
I like now I mean, you were always the measuring stick of any kind of intelligence for me. It was like the Michael Jordan of
Oh,
intel. And I said, I want, because you were in every department, you were in the philosophy department, the comparative lit department, the physics department, the computer science department, and
well,
I said, I just want to be a mini Doug. If I can pull that off, a mini Hofstadter, that would be, that would be great. And ambigrams now and the whirly art, it seems like you're moving towards, I mean, you always loved art, but you even said you're an artist now, like you're moving that way a little bit.
well, yeah. I mean, I've always been an artist. Ever since my what would be probably my late teenage years. Uh, but uh, but yeah, professionally, I didn't define myself that way. I didn't use that word. I mean, the word professional is a little bit tricky because sometimes it means that's how you gain your living. And I'm not gaining my living by doing art. So in that sense, it's not professional. And but it's a what would you say? It's an activity that has occupied an enormous amount of my time um, and dedication, devotion. So, you know, I certainly don't think of myself these days as being um, primarily a scientist of any sort.
Yes.
You know,
I
that,
remember when I first wrote you my first, well, not my first letter. You know that story. That was a great story. But a little bit on, I wrote you and I imagine you as a computer, like by the computer. And I said, I can do with magic what you do with a computer. And you said, don't use that metaphor. I'm not in
mhm.
front of that computer. You know, it's not, you're more chasing beauty and chasing
Yeah, I
grace.
never identified myself as a person who loves computers. Hmm. I mean,
But
I use them. They're good for a lot of purposes, but but I I'm interested in other things more.
yes, I wasn't ready for that at that time because I just pictured you as like a Dr. Frankenstein programming AI, you know.
Ah,
Maybe we can do a little AI before we dive into the book if you want.
I don't want to talk about AI.
Maybe you don't want to. Yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah, yeah. It's something that I consider off limits.
Oh, I totally. You don't see any good, really.
No,
Yeah, the
no.
bad outweigh the tsunami that's coming is too big.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't see any good in it.
I was going to say, Paul Harris, who now my friend Paul Harris.
Yeah,
He was
well,
very positive about it, positive. And now he said, tell Doug I'm in the Doug camp.
Oh,
And he said,
okay.
maybe they'll keep us around as pets. That's about the bet. And I was surprised that he said that because he was very optimistic. And then he
Yeah.
said, maybe if they keep us as pets, that will be, yeah,
Yeah, well, I don't like to think about it.
I understand.
Yeah.
So back to artist ambigrams.
Yeah, that's good. Hmm.
Um, one thing I loved about the ambigram is the I like that there's so many different ways. There's a shift where you can go 180 degrees and
Yeah.
it's there. Then there's like a lake reflection where it's like
Yeah.
reflected. These are so many things that
Well,
resonate with
I don't think I printed out any lake reflection to show,
uh
but that's okay. I printed out a bunch of ones, including some wall reflections, but
oh,
no,
that's
I don't
great.
think I have any lake reflections. I don't think I printed any out. That's too bad. I could have, but didn't didn't do it.
What do you call
Anyway,
it when it's just symmetrical this way and it comes in like this, but it's not a reflection, it's just
hmm.
symmetrical left to right.
Well,
I
that's
can't
wall
remember.
reflection.
Oh, that's wall
That
reflection.
is a
Okay.
wall reflection. Let me get an example so that we can
Sure.
demonstrate that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm having trouble finding things because I have too much stuff. Okay, so we can take this one. Uh,
Ah,
okay, so that one is the rainbow, which I think people can read easily enough.
yes.
Oh, can you hold on just a sec? We'll go back to that. Just a sec. Hello?
Go.
Okay. So so here, if you look at this, I guess I got to pull it back a little bit. Um, I don't know if you can read the yellow because it's too pale, but
Yeah, I can't see.
well, I'll bring it closer. Maybe you
Ah,
can.
there it is.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. Okay, um, so if I were to reflect it, meaning turn it around backwards, then you can read it through the paper. You
Ah,
can see them through the paper. Red, orange, yellow is going to be hard to read, but green, blue,
yes.
go violet. And then what's that thing that you're looking at now at the
Doug.
bottom?
Doug or
Oh,
2006?
yeah, 2006. That's the year I did it.
Ah,
And really wonderful that it says Doug 2006 both ways. It says that, and then you turn it around and it still says Doug
so
2000.
perfect.
That's
Yes.
got four readings. That's unusual. Um,
Yes.
but the funny thing about this is look at the red here. Look at that red. Okay,
Okay.
look at the E. There's uh, the uh, the backbone of the E, the left side of it is incomplete. It's
Yes.
a little part. Now turn it around and it's completely different. Backbone
That's
is
good. Yes.
it's a I don't know if you ever heard of magic, but it's something like a magic trick.
Yes. And I think you said in the book and in person, you said these things just sometimes come, you discover it, they come through you as you do it. And that's the little bit of the hit, the excitement is you're not thinking about it. They just come through
I
in
don't
a
think I
way.
did that. I don't
Oh,
remember saying that. I
yeah, I'm not wording it perfect.
well, I don't remember saying anything of that sort.
Like
Oh, I remember.
they
Well,
surprise you. They
yes.
surprise you.
No, I do remember saying that in one spot. I do
Yes.
remember saying that in one spot. It has to do with the ambigram, which is another mirror image one, but I didn't take it out of the book. I'll find it
Sure.
uh, to show you because it's this one, uh, San Juan.
Ah, yes.
Juan, the
Which is
capital.
two which is two towns away from me here There's
Uh,
also San Juan.
oh, okay. So San Juan, that semicircle at the bottom, the two red
Ah,
semicircles, they did come to me sort of out of nowhere. I thought I wrote something very similar to what you said. Let me see what I said. I said, most of all, I savor the two red semicircles on the baseline. Where did they come from? From my mind, of course, but in the white heat of creation, it felt as if the idea of semicircles came to me, not from me, and out of nowhere. It was a strange and subtle move, and it still remains a surprise to me, its finder slash inventor. So those two semicircles, they just
yes.
came out of nowhere. They really caught me by surprise. And San
Beautiful.
Juan. And and they gave me a lot of pleasure. So yeah, what you said, I don't know if that's exactly the line that you were thinking of in the book.
Yes, that was it. Yep. They
Okay, so
surprised you. It just
yeah,
came through.
yeah, that's true. Mostly I'm not that caught by surprise. Mostly it's a lot of thinking and guessing and polishing and reworking, et cetera, et cetera. It's not so much like, oh, wow, this came out of nowhere. But maybe once in a while that happens.
I remember when I was at your house and you said, I'm very tired. I'm going to take a little nap. And I can imagine we were talking and talking since early morning and said, we're going to take a break. And then you didn't though. You made an ambigram of me and Michelle. And it was so
Oh,
beautiful. You came downstairs with that was during your break. You still maybe you
oh,
took a 5 minutes, but you
yeah,
worked on
yeah.
and it was so beautiful. And I don't know if you remember this, but the colors that I picked and Michelle picked when we went to dinner that night, we stepped into the parking lot of the restaurant that I think I picked. So you couldn't have had anything to do with it. And you looked across the parking lot and there was a copy place. I can't remember the name. And and right there, the letters of this Xerox place, not the letters, the colors were the same as the ones that I picked
Hmm.
and Michelle picked for the ambigram. And you said, look, James, they copied them. And it was a copy plate. It was great.
That was in Bloomington?
Yes. I
Hmm.
think we went to the Japanese restaurant. Kinko, what were the Kinkos or whatever is a
Yeah,
copy place.
yeah, no, it makes sense.
I had to fight you on Indian food versus Japanese
Yeah, no,
food.
that's right. Yeah, that sounds right.
You said, look, they stole our
The
colors.
restaurant
They copied them.
would have been called Asuka.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So, so why do you think you're drawn to ambigrams? Is it the I love the idea as a mystic of the shift. There's a shift, like you can see something and you can shift it and it's still there.
Yeah.
Or there's something as you shift, you can
Well,
turn it this way, you can turn it that
yeah,
way.
no, I mean that's part of it. There's no doubt, of course, there's no doubt that that's true. But but I think that's the joy of a person who is looking at them and who is enjoying them. But the the joy of a creator of ambigrams or discoverer is finding something that you didn't suspect,
I love
that
that.
you know you find something and and you make it work somehow, and getting a glimmer of an idea, just a little glimmer, and then somehow turning that little glimmer into a very bright gleam, making it really work is always a, um, a great pleasure. Finding. I'll give you an example of something, though, a
Sure.
very early ambigram that I did. was, well, let me
Oh,
first
it's
tell you
great.
before I show it. I was doing names of Italian cities. And so, of course, Rome is the biggest and most famous of all Italian cities. I was doing them in Italian, and so it was Roma, Roma. And, I didn't know a priori whether I would be doing it like this, 180 degree, or like this, turning it, having it a mirror reflection. I didn't know what it would be. But I looked at the word and I didn't know if it'd be uppercase, lowercase, or a mixture. I didn't know if it'd be capital. I didn't know if it would be print or script. I just didn't know. But uh, I uh, I looked at the word as printed, and I should get a nice example of a printed A somewhere.
Sure.
Uh, Let me see. I just want to find a nice printed A, lowercase. So there's one,
Yes.
you know, and I looked at that in Roma, Roma. I looked at the A and I thought, well, you could break this piece off and this off so that the two things would separate. It would be two pieces instead of one. And and I thought the lamp post could become an R and the little circle could become an O. And so that's what I did, like this. And
Amazing.
well, it's not amazing. I wouldn't go that far. You're a member of
Too generous, too
The
generous.
Institute of Advanced Astonishment. No,
It's
but
okay.
it's yeah, it's okay. But it's very cute that you could
Yeah.
break that A up into two pieces so that it reads either way.
Wow.
And um, and the M itself is symmetric. So the M is given to you in a sense. I mean, if you think of it that way. And and the A breaks into the RO. It's very simple, but it
How
was
quick does that happen? An
no,
hour or a
no,
couple
that
hours
would be quicker than
more?
that because I mean, you look at a letter form and if your mind is used to breaking it up into pieces in unusual ways, um, you try all sorts of things in a few seconds. It doesn't mean that you find the right answer because sometimes you have to combine letters. I mean, this one involves combine. You can either see it as the A breaking up into two pieces, or you can say the R and the O combine to make an A. It depends on how you think about it. But many ambigrams involve combinations of letters. Here's a nice one. Uh,
Uh,
Creation versus
yes.
discovery. And of course,
You
if you
flip
tell
that. Come on. Come on.
what's
That's
that?
magic. That's like magic. That's
Yeah,
so good. How
yeah.
that takes longer, way longer, right?
Yeah, well, so if you look at this one, I have to look at it myself. The EAT in the middle of creation becomes the OVE in the middle of discovery. Uh,
Yes.
so so here is okay. So EAT, and then here's the
Yes.
E, here's the A, here's the T. So EAT, but upside down. Um,
That's
and
so good.
And the thing about it is that it didn't involve it doesn't involve looking at one letter. This involved looking at three letters
Right.
and and um, and seeing how they could as a group become another set of three letters. And or here at the if you take the DIS DIS of
Right.
discovery, that's the ON of creation. So it's three letters becomes two, or two letters become three. And so, you can't rely on the idea that you're going to turn one letter into another letter. You have to be able to fluidly play around with letters and parts of letters until you find a promising little discovery that that might be exploited and pushed farther, and by exaggerating things and cheating in various ways.
That sounds so much like magic.
Yeah. Well, I think that exactly what you do as a magician is you think of ways of tricking people, misleading them, drawing their attention to a place where it shouldn't be, or making assumptions that they aren't aware of making. Um, and it's very,
Yes, exploit that. Exploit
yeah,
the assumption.
yeah.
Remember, Randy would come out and do lectures, and he would come out with a little microphone in his hand, and he
Mhm.
would start to talk about psychics and things. And then he'd say, "You already made a few assumptions. First of all, I haven't seen any of you." And he'd show that his glasses had no lenses in them. They were
Uh,
just, he'd take them off and they would just, and then he would put them down and put and he'd say, "Oh, look how beautiful you all are." And he put the glasses on. He'd say, "You thought those were lenses." And then he would turn the microphone on. It was just a electric razor that he was talking in. He had a microphone here. And he would say, "You thought this was the mic, but this is the mic." It was really good.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Yeah, we make these assumptions.
Yeah,
So do you
assumptions
feel
left
like
and
a
right.
magician a little bit? Do you get that feel
I
that you're
I don't think of myself as a magician, but I can see how other people would think that.
could you say you're a little bit of what Paul would call an astonishment artist?
Yeah, yeah, I think I'm
Yeah.
stated.
He's
Mhm.
moved away from magic. He doesn't even want to be called magician, but
Oh,
he
really?
likes astonishment. When I put on the back of the book, I wanted to put magician. And he said, "No, no, no. Call me astonishment artists. That's
Oh,
okay,
oh, that's
if
interesting.
anything."
Yeah.
And I love you're moving more towards, would you say your books are more science or more pieces of art?
Which books are you referring
All
to?
of them. The whole thing, the whole
Well,
collection.
I think that's when you consider GEB, the original title was Gödel's theorem in the human brain. That was the original thought, and I didn't um, have in mind using illustrations or dialogues, and I just thought it was going to be a series of chapters and a typical kind of philosophy book. Although I'd never written a philosophy
Yes.
book. Yeah, I had never written a philosophy book, and I didn't know exactly whether I was going to fit into the tradition of philosophers or not. I didn't think of myself as a philosopher, but I felt I was writing about philosophical issues. And but then I encountered, well, I had already encountered Lewis Carroll's dialogue, What the Tortoise Said to Achilles, um, before starting the book, but I reread it and it fired me up and made me think about writing dialogues. And I don't want to tell the whole story about how I did that, but because it's too long and it's not relevant here. But writing dialogues between the tortoise and Achilles in the form of contrapuntal pieces, in the canons, fugues, and things like that by Bach, that was a, a completely unexpected development. And then my dad told me that when he read an early version of the book that had a few dialogues in it, he said, "You need more pictures." And I was thinking to myself, um, that made me think having all sorts of Escher pictures in my mind that I haven't been sharing with anyone. And maybe I should include some Escher pictures. So at that point, I started to think, look, this book involves not just ideas of philosophy or science or math or something, but also pictures by Escher and dialogues in the form of Bach pieces. And that makes the book artistic in a way that it transcends philosophy or science or something like that. It is really being artistic. And so that's why I changed the title from Gödel's Theorem and the Human Brain to Gödel, Escher, Bach. And and I got in references to an artist and a musician. A lot of people misunderstood that as thinking that the book was about Escher or about Bach. I want to give the flavor in the title that the book was artistic as well as scientific. And so even from my first book onward, I think I would say that all of my books are a mixture of science and art, but they're tending more and more toward the art side as I grow older.
Yes. Yes, I remember when I first read Godel Shabak, I read it. I was probably 19 years old under a cherry blossom tree. And it was so beautiful. The cherry
Mm,
blossoms I didn't know anything about impermanence yet and Buddhism and and the cherry blossoms and they covered the floor under the tree, all these
mm.
beautiful blossoms, and I would lay there, put the book down because it was the first book I really bought as an adult. I bought books as a kid, at the book sale at school, but the first two books I bought as an adult were Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass with Gödel Escher. Those two,
Wow.
that was my first purchase with the little bit of money I had. So, and
Wow.
I would read
So,
those
so,
dialogues under the tree.
so I was your introducer to Zen Buddhism.
Yeah, yes. I was just blown away and loved and if we can go into that just a little bit, I loved what you wrote about Zen infuriated you
Yeah.
and oh, you would get like you couldn't grasp it, but at the same time, because I reread it recently, you loved it and it touched something deep inside you. So it was this beautiful twofold thing. It infuriated you, but there was something very freeing there about not the mu and not understanding and unasking and not knowing the non-conceptual with the conceptual. And for you, I just thought you nailed it so beautifully in that chapter.
Yeah. Well, I certainly, I think a lot of people took me as being a Zen adept, and I had to argue that I wasn't one, but nonetheless, I had fun with it.
Right. And it touched something. I remember when I'd see you in a restaurant and I would show you a little Zen thing, and I would think, this is going to get Doug. This is it. After dinner, when I show him this,
Hmm.
it's over, game over. And you you would read this little nugget of wisdom and you would just laugh and say, that's so funny. And you saw the funniness, like the lightness in it, which
Uh,
was, and I would go, no, no, it's not funny. And it took years for me to understand because I thought I had you, but no, it's so incomprehensible sometimes that it's like, it is funny and you just would chuckle.
yeah, well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you're a guy that you're, I mean, you talk about, you have this whole thing of strange loops and concepts. And in non-conceptual thought, I know you tried, you meditated, you told me, and you tried in your own style to get away from any kind of religion, or you really tried to do the right thing, and it just didn't land there. You didn't land
Yeah,
there.
well, when I was a graduate student in about 1970, I would guess around 73, there was a period in which I did try to I tried to meditate in my own fashion, and I tried to explore that kind of aspect of life, but it didn't work for me. Yeah.
Yes. And we've been doing this ever since. So to me, the thing in Godel Shabak and Strange Loop, the I Am a Strange Loop book that hit me the most was the inviolate, I don't know if I'm saying it right, inviolate level,
Yeah.
right? The level that you, I'll try to describe it in my own word, that you can't see, sort of
Yeah.
like Escher's hands drawing hands, but then there's a level where there's the artist that's
Yeah.
doing that. And
Love.
your books always touch on that in
Mhm.
dialogues and in such a beautiful way of Achilles and the tortoise talking and all these little characters talking. But then sometimes the author walks in with the book under the
Mhm.
arm and they they don't understand that they're in the mind of
Yeah.
a bigger author.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's a beautiful, I think where we are we're right with these we're right there with these two point of
Oops.
views that touch each other. They're so close that the inviolate level, and then I would say that there's a bigger inviolate level that only could be experienced, you know. So that's
Yeah.
the mystic level. And I
Yeah.
think you totally understand that.
By the way, you made an incredible pun the other day when you were talking about Paul Harris's sister,
Oh,
and there was some uh, worrisome news uh, about treatment for her eyes, and you said, "Well, I'm still an optimistic." And I thought, wow, I'm still optimistic. That's what you said. I'm still
yes.
optimistic and hyphenated.
I
And
hyphenated.
then you wrote mystic with a Y. And that was so beautiful. What a
Thank you.
great discovery. Because opti meaning the eye and
Yeah.
mystic, optimistic, the word optimistic, hopeful, but opti,
Yes.
eye, and a mystic. I mean, that was just
Yes.
fantastic. That was a
Yes.
very
I
beautiful.
I always force feed them a little bit. Me too. Like you're better at being more subtle with the pun.
Oh, that was
You might not have put a hyphen, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I think the hyphen was warranted.
Okay.
That was a great play on words. I have to write it down in my bon mots, my collection of bon mots. That was
Is that
beautiful.
is that book coming?
Oh, I don't know of a book, but yeah, maybe. Maybe for
And
friends.
you work, yes, you said you're working on um a book for friends or people who ask that would be Once in a Blue Moon, which was Carol's beautiful saying. That'll
Yeah.
be something, but that's different than My Wild Grace Chase,
Oh
the
yeah.
autobiography.
Yeah. Well, my Wild Grace Chase has two different identities. Originally, it was going to be I started writing it with the idea that it was going to be a book of about my art, but it ballooned into something that I didn't expect. It began to be a book about my life, and it got longer and longer and longer and longer. And I don't know, it got out of my control, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And I had before I can't say before I knew it because it had taken a year at least. I had written 1,500 pages of autobiography, at least a year, but I still fooled myself into thinking this is a book about my art when it wasn't. And all of a sudden, I just realized, firstly, I've only gotten halfway through my life, and I've already written 1,500 pages, and it isn't even the book I wanted it to be. It's supposed to be a book of my art, and instead it's turning into a, a book of an autobiography and a gigantic book, and it wasn't supposed to be gigantic. So I got very upset, and I put it on the back burner. I just shelved it, and I started again working on my art. And the first thing I thought was, well, why don't I separate my art into two different books? One would be ambigrams, and so that one got done, and that's what we're theoretically talking about in this conversation.
Yes.
But the other one would be about all the other art that I have done over the course of my life, and but I didn't know what to call it, and I had all sorts of ideas for titles until it finally hit me that I could use the title My Wild Grace Chase for the other book, the other of my art, and drop that title for the autobiography. And now I have a new title for the autobiography,
Oh,
but it's not going to be a full autobiography. If it ever gets finished, it's only going to be the first half of my life. It's not going to be the whole thing. And I'm going to call it Half Life. Half Life with a subtitle
so
with a subtitle of My Relentless Quest for Beauty.
yes.
And that is the same as My Wild Grace Chase, My Relentless Quest for Beauty. But but it doesn't it does My Wild Grace Chase is then liberated to be the title of the other art book. So yeah, yeah.
And
So
then
the
you'll that'll
half
go
life.
up to, that's such a great. Will that
I don't
go
know.
up till
I don't know
1980?
what.
Like not up till 1980 or 90 or
No,
what does
no,
that
not
go?
that far. It goes up
Oh,
to,
not even that far.
no, probably about 1976.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's when the magic starts to happen, right? Or
Well, I don't know.
79, 81,
Well, whatever.
85. No, what?
Yeah.
You know, I had a teacher that told me once, and I hated it. Um, in college, first intro to literature class, and she looked at me, and I would put my hand up always and fight for the skeptic view. And I thought I was saving all the class. I would fight. And this little lady who read 5 novels a week, she was like my hero. But she looked at me and I never forget it. And she wrote it on my paper in brown ink. And it said, "You, Mr. Platt, are a mystic in skeptic's clothing." And I hated it. But I feel like I hated it, but then I became a mystic. And I feel like you're dancing, like you love dancing. Like it just all fits. You love salsa, you love all that. Like you're dancing right on the edge of this mystical side that's so beautiful. You're
Well,
right on the pin, right
yeah, I
on
know.
it.
I remember I gave a talk one time at University of San Francisco, and my inviter, who was named Pete Wells, a mathematician, he invited me to talk about mathematics, and he said, "You're a mystic," and I said, "No, I'm not." I argued very
You
strongly.
fought it, right? Me too.
Yeah. So you mentioned salsa.
Oh,
I thought I
look at
would
that.
bring that. It's a very simple ambigram, but it's just one letter goes to
Oh.
one letter. A goes to S.
Would you
A,
say this is a quest, the ambigram for wholeness and symmetry, like Martin
not
Gardner
always
loves symmetry?
symmetry. There's not,
No, no.
no, not always symmetry,
Yeah,
but
but something like a astonishment moment.
yeah.
If it's not a symmetry, it's a moment of, oh, like your Johann Sebastian Bach, where I mean, that's just totally nuts. And light is a wave and a particle, with the wave and a particle
Yeah,
as the
yeah,
exclamation point.
right.
That
Right.
oscillation, right? That's
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, we should show that one.
oh, that would
Yeah,
be
so
great.
that we can talk about that a
How
little
many
bit.
years ago was that one?
That one, oh, I think
Post
that's
autobiography?
Ambigrammi. I think it's already in Ambigrammi, I
Okay.
believe. So here it
Oh,
is.
that's
And
amazing.
yeah, and so if you look at the letters W, A, V, E, they're wide, they're wide, but if you look at the letters P, A, R, T, I, C, L, E, they're narrow letters.
Yeah.
So either you see it as wide letters and then there's four of them, or you see it as narrow letters and then there are eight of them. Um, And yeah,
But
so
then they get us on the exclamation.
yeah, the yeah, exclamation point has both. Yeah.
You know that when I read, and I encourage anyone who's listening to read everything you wrote, but especially this. And when I read when I saw the Mew drawing, the MU, which is unasking the question, the Zen unasking, which is so great, and reduction and holism. When I looked really deep and I thought I had it, and then the one of your lines in the dialogue is no, go an octave deeper. And I saw what was underneath the whole thing.
Yeah.
That Mew underneath. Do you have that there?
Well, you have it too, but I don't know
Oh, I
what it.
do. You're
Let me
right.
see if I can find it. I don't remember exactly where it is, but yeah, here.
You got it? I got
Yeah,
it. Yes.
yeah.
But they can only see the MU.
If you go really up close,
Then
I
you
don't
can
know,
see reductionism and holism.
and I don't know if
And
you
then
can see the little
really
tiny
close.
Muse, the little
Yes.
tiny MU in the at the bottom, at the
But then
lower.
if you look really close, I see you smiling. You look really close, there's a Hoff and a Stetter in there.
I
You
remember
hid you.
something there.
Yes,
I
you
don't remember
did.
what it is, but yeah,
You hid your name in
yeah,
there. And
yeah.
I took the book and threw it. And only few books get thrown across the room over a lifetime. Walt
Yeah.
Whitman, maybe Rumi, and definitely this book flew a few times. It was aerodynamic. And I threw it and said, what the hell is this guy doing? It was so, and there's the art combined. And I would say, I mean, my whole life, I look to, I told you when I remember when I first met you, you said, who are your, it was such a beautiful question at like 6 a.m. or whatever time it was. You said, who are your heroes? And that was a great question I didn't expect from you. And I said, besides you, and I named my heroes like Randy and who are my giants? Like Randy had giants of Martin Gardner and Bertrand Russell. And in my heroes, I named Eddie Van Halen, and you said, "Show me," and I showed you a guitar solo where he was doing Bach-like things on the guitar, very beautiful. And in the music of Eddie Van Halen, I always had what I loved the most when I put the needle on the record was something that was I never heard before, but also really difficult, but also so innovative, difficult, and beautiful. And your art hits me that way. Like difficult, innovative. You could have that and it could not be beautiful, but beautiful and touching. And
Yeah,
that's the
yeah, I don't know how innovative it is, but I think for me, the important part in doing ambigrams is is the beauty. I mean, here, for example,
oh,
that's
looks simple. Bach,
uh,
very
right,
simple.
and then you turn it like this,
Oh,
and
fugue.
and it's the Latin or Italian or Spanish word for fugue, fuga. So fuga becomes Bach.
It's
And
too good.
it's quite simple, one letter to one letter, but it's unexpected. And I think Bach himself would have loved it because,
Yes,
he,
he would
he
have
liked,
loved it.
I think he would have appreciated it. But it's the beauty. The forms are lovely. The forms are attractive.
So
That's
beautiful.
that's what's important. Or something like this. Um, you know,
All right, hold on. That one, what is happening here? I don't even know what's happening.
okay. That's good. That's good for that. I don't know how
Uh,
good. Mhm.
help me.
No, I don't want to help you.
No.
I can turn it over. I mean, that's okay. I can do that.
Why not seeing something? seeing perfect, beautiful symmetry.
All of the viewers have already read it
They
long ago.
haven't.
They've all read it, but you haven't. They'll think, what is
Yeah,
wrong
it's
with
not.
me?
Yeah, what's wrong with the magician?
Yeah, what's wrong with the magician? That's
You know,
right.
when I don't know if you know this, but when I watch magic, I always turn off what I know, so I want to not know. I don't know if you feel that way. Like I
Well,
turn off anything I know.
let me help you out.
Yeah, help me.
Okay, I'll help you out.
This is like my village idiot moment. What the? North Dakota? North Dakota?
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, North Dakota. Genius.
Okay,
That's amazing.
so so what happened to the other one that I was showing you? It just disappeared. Oh, that's funny.
Give me the first letter.
No,
I can't get it, Doug.
right there. What do you mean give it to you? I just gave it to you. Here it is.
Oh,
How do I give it to you any more than this? Okay, let's try another one.
you're killing me. Delaware immediately,
Mm.
and that spins to Delaware.
Yeah. This one.
Nebraska.
Mm. Okay,
You
let's go
sure
back to Delaware.
you're not messing with me with the other ones? Delaware. Delaware
I
is
don't know.
amazing.
Okay.
Don't bring that other one back. What? I think you're messing with me, Doug. Come on. The
I'm
viewers,
sorry.
are the viewers laughing?
I hope so. I hope the viewers are in stitches. And what's the matter with that guy? What's the
Why?
matter with that? That's really funny. But I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not saying that.
So
How do I know that they're?
what turns you on the most about the ambigram? Is it the power to surprise as it turn like that moment of astonishment, that
The
white light?
beauty. The
I
beauty.
like that you called it a white light of something. Beauty, maybe you said?
I don't know. The
South
beauty.
Dakota.
Just the beauty. Yeah.
Are you sure that one that you're bringing up isn't totally Stop it. Come on. For real? Is that a word?
That's a word.
Is it
It's
a
really
state?
funny.
It is funny. I see a lot of S's. Nothing, Doug. Zero. Like when you
Hey, where
meditated,
are
you
the
couldn't.
S's? Where are the S's?
I see S's, four letters in, and then a straight line and two more S.
What's a
SSISS.
straight line? What is a straight
Right there,
line?
right there where your finger is.
What is a straight line?
An I?
Yeah, what's
Oh,
this?
is it Mississippi? It's not Mississippi.
Yeah.
It is Mississippi. Oh, I see it now. That's a tough one,
Took
though.
you a
That's
while.
not, yeah, that took me a while.
Yeah.
I feel like you meditating in 1970.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Come on, right?
I thought that one was going to be easy.
No, that's the hardest thing I've ever seen. That's the hardest one. The other ones were,
Well,
wow. But that's good to
that's
have
really
a
good.
hard one.
Well,
I
I
like
don't
that.
like that when they're that hard. I like them to be easy, but I understand that not everybody is the same way.
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
joke. I know you did workshops on jokes and comedy and consciousness, and it's like jokes. Certain comedians will clear the room because people don't understand them, and people just walk out. Not being vulgar,
Uh-huh.
but actually they don't understand what's going on. I
Yeah.
could do that with magic, and I have to
Mm.
restrain myself to not do that because you don't want to lose the room, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun though, once in a while to lose the room. The comedians like it.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Okay. I'm trying to think what I should show that would be that would
I loved in the book a few, you might not have saved them, but a few of you had couples or married couples, and it would be
yeah, I
two,
did.
and it would be like an A and a B, and you'd see like John and Cat or whatever, and then it would flip, and it would be her and him, and it would just keep flipping like the
Yeah.
duck and the rabbit.
I'm not sure what you mean, but I do have a lot of couples. That's true. I don't know exactly what you're
You know
thinking of.
Wittgenstein's Duck and Rabbit,
You
where
no,
it's
no, I
the
know
rabbit.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
No, no, but yeah, but I don't know. I mean,
Oh, which ones?
oh, okay. There is one for Balfan and me right there.
Bring it just a little close. Oh,
Okay,
it's good.
okay.
Oh,
So
it's great.
that one says, if you read it as they're both Chinese names. So the one is my wife's name, Baofen, Baofen. So is that clear?
Yes, and
Baofen?
dug under.
No, there's no Doug. The underneath it's Daoren. It's a Chinese name. Dao, as in Dao De Jing. It's the Dao of Buddhism.
Right.
Um, and Ren, Ren, Daoren, um, which is my Chinese name,
Ah,
Daoren. That was my Chinese name given to me in 1976 by my first Chinese teacher. And so to turn Baofen into Daoren,
that's great.
Daoren,
That's
you
perfect.
just add two little swirls at the top, and there you get it. And so that's a kind of duck rabbit thing because you see both.
Yes,
It's like
yes,
this is a duck rabbit thing,
yes.
right? Yeah, yeah. But
And that to me is the closest to the mystical shift when you shift from ordinary consciousness to what you were doing in meditation to something what the Zen masters are trying to point to. That would be like if reality was ambigram and we turned
yeah.
it like
Yeah.
that's
No,
the
but this
shift.
doesn't involve any turning. That's the whole point.
No, no, that's
The
right
duck
there.
rabbit doesn't involve any turning at all. It's just a perceptual shift.
Shift.
It doesn't
Yeah.
involve any turning, any reflection, anything.
Right.
That
And I think that's what the mystical shift is a perceptual shift inside. You just
yeah.
shift your
That's why
perception.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think that's why you love ambigram.
Well, I like ambigrams because they're beautiful and surprising.
They are.
You look at something like this, and it's
That's
the shapes are pleasing.
yes.
They hang together as a unit. It feels like an artistic unity. And then you turn it over and you get the surprise that it says the same thing in two ways. And you thought it said great here, but
Yes,
then
yes.
turn it over, it turns out to
It
be
does.
Britain, you
That's
know.
so I love the word you used right there, unity. And
Yeah. And
that's the
so
whole thing.
and the biggest trick was that swirl in the middle.
Yes. How does that come about? That swirl unconscious, or you have to work your way there?
You mean how did I discover it?
Yeah.
Well, I had already done this part and this part. I mean, and then I was left with BR in the middle, and I didn't know what to do with BR
Uh,
because I had done great, and I had done itten, and I had BR in the middle, and I didn't know what to do. And then it occurred to me that this line in the B could actually be an R, a lowercase r, and so that those two would be taken care of, and then I would just have left this thing that I had to get bness in there, and it occurred to me that I could get bness by having a snaky swirl that went below the level of the bottom, that went down here, so that
Beautiful.
you kind of ignore that, but you go above it and it makes it into a capital, and the way capitals should be, they do go above that level, just as
Yes.
this capital goes above it, and here it goes below. But that's not a sin down over here, and over here it's very good. So it was like it just sort of fell out of the it fell out naturally once I had seen that this R could be the backbone of the the B. So it was a small observation, just like in Roma, the A, splitting into two pieces. Here the B splits into two pieces. So those kinds of things are small discoveries, but then you work on the form. You think of the idea, but then you work very hard on the form to make it look as artistically uniform as you can. And it's very, very important to make it look artistically uniform.
You had me at Venus. Thank
Well,
you, Doug. I know you have to run soon. Do
okay.
you have any more on the pile there that we can look at before?
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
want
I
to.
had some others. I brought out quite a few of the ones that I had selected, but um, I think we covered a great number of them.
I
Um,
love that. Can I just mention to the people listening that you don't do, you basically stop public appearance and you definitely don't do podcasts. I wrote
yeah,
you as I do every year, Doug,
yeah.
please come on for my birthday. Do you remember what you did to me on my birthday a couple of years ago?
No. What
I
did I do?
said, "Hey, by the way, I think you wrote me first, or I said it's my birthday, and you were, gee, this never happened again, and it only happened that one day. I was like in a camper upstate somewhere in New York, and way up, and you said you kept messing with me on what do you mean it's your birthday? Like you'd play with me, and it took every hour or half hour you wrote me, and I kept trying to explain the day I was born, and you kept playing with it until it wasn't my birthday anymore. And then you said, "Well, I wish I could. I understand now, but I can't wish you happy birthday because it was tomorrow."
Oh, that's funny. No, I didn't
It
remember
was
that.
so great. So great.
That's pretty funny. So here's one. Here's a map.
Ah,
Here's a map.
New York,
Yeah,
Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Staten Island.
yeah. And then here's
Wow. Oh, come on.
um,
That's amazing.
but
And
this
you
is
were
the map.
born in New
This
York,
way it's
right?
a map. This way it's accurate. The Bronx is, you
Ah,
know, the Bronx is at the top, and Staten Island is at the bottom, and Queens and Brooklyn are where they should be. Manhattan is vertical the way it should be. Um, um, when you turn it upside down, the map isn't any longer correct. Well, it is
but it
correct. It is.
works. Yeah.
If you think of South as being, you just think of it's still geographically correct. It's just that you're
Yes.
looking at it from a different angle.
It's amazing.
So, but that's a nice one because all of them are capital letters. They all 180-degree rotation, and they read pretty well.
Unbelievable.
That was a fun one to do. Yeah,
What's
yeah.
your do you have a favorite or one that
No,
you,
I don't have any.
no, no,
No, because
not one that's more beautiful. The light is wave and particle is just so powerful.
well, it's a nice one. I agree.
Yeah.
That's why I selected it for this today. But I don't know. Here's another one.
Oh, Bloomington, 2006, Doug.
Yeah.
Bloomington is your town.
Yeah.
Did it in '06, and there it is. Come on, the unity.
Yeah. And what was fun about it was that I did Bloomington by itself. I didn't have Doug in 2006, and I wanted to put in Doug in 2006. And at the very outset, I had in the letters of Bloom, I had, I don't remember, a couple of these little swirly things. Not all five of them. There are five of them. Let's see, one, two, yeah, one, two, three, four, five here. I didn't have all five of them. I had like two of them. I don't remember which ones. But the point is that I thought, golly, I could put in several more and then make a whole circle of them and make it seem as if
Ah,
these were there from the beginning and that these
ah,
were there from the beginning, which they weren't. But I just thought it would be nice to do that, to make the circle be integrated with these swirls inside the letters. And so
yes.
I added that uh, and that's how it came out. And then of course I put
Beautiful.
swirls inside these letters too, to sort of justify the cheating.
Yeah,
You're constantly trying to justify
I
something
love that.
that, uh,
That
to
fits with
me.
magic so much.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's very much
You know,
up your
Randy on his front lawn had a sign, professional charlatan, not just a charlatan, but a professional.
That's pretty good.
So
That's
you're a professional. You have to cheat professionally in the best way and justify.
yeah, 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 that's good. A professional charlatan. That's good.
Very beautiful. Doug, this is amazing. It's amazing we're here. It's amazing we're connected. The whole thing is just astonishing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. And we'll look forward to Ambigram. The Ambigram book is brand new, July, and the next book's maybe 2026,
No, they always come out in odd numbered years.
2027. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just a coincidence.
I didn't
But
catch that
I want
pattern, but you're right.
every single one of my books has come out in an odd
81.
numbered year. They're always a odd
That's
numbered.
so
So
funny.
I want to continue that.
Wow. How did I not catch that?
Well, I don't know. It's just a
That's a
fact.
good pattern. So
Yeah,
2027.
yeah,
And I know AI is looming and everything, but I'm glad we're going to share it together, whatever is coming. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to be again optimistic
yeah,
on that,
yeah. Why don't you cut out the recording at this point? We've come
Sure.
to the place.
So good to see you, Doug.
Yeah, yeah.